Once upon a time, I said that I would never use Adobe's suite of creative products. But that's all changing. Hey YouTube. So, about 2015, this is about 5 years into running my channel, and 7, maybe 8 years into making videos. Because I was doing that before I even was putting anything online anywhere. Um, so I wanted to start a VHS to DVD transfer company. I figured I could do it cheaper than what other companies were doing and do it decently well. I had an Hopog 950 something, I think, a TV tuner, USB TV tuner device, and I was trying to use that with its component, or is it composite? I forget, but its input that would go from my VCR to that, and it wasn't working, and so that got me started on looking for a better computer, and then eventually a better device to actually do that capturing, because that thing wasn't cutting it with that input for some reason. But in my searching, I didn't know what to look for on a good computer. I didn't know you're supposed to look at like the RAM, CPU, what kind of graphics card it has. I didn't know any of that. And so it was basically just like, well, this computer on KSL isn't too expensive and it looks like it could be better. Just rolling the dice, making a gamble. And I mean, even if I knew I was supposed to look at those different components, I wouldn't have even known which ones were good, and I'd have to do more research, which wouldn't have been bad. I just didn't even think about doing it. So it was basically like, oh, what about this computer? Let's try that. I think we ended up like 2 different computers off of KSL that didn't work. I forget what happened to them. Maybe one we might still have. But yeah, it wasn't really working out. I got a quote for a video editing computer from, I think it was PC Laptops. They were saying like $1,500, $2,000 actually for one. But yeah, and then I found on KSL one that was going for $1,000, and it included the Adobe Premiere and maybe After Effects, I think. It was like a really great deal, and I went with that one, and I wanted to use Adobe at the time. They seemed like the best editing suite available anywhere. And so we were going to go down to St. George to pick it up, and the guy, whose name was Caleb, I would actually really like to reconnect with you if you happen to see this. I might look you up on Facebook or something. But he said that his friend needed some editing software, and so he was going to give him the Adobe, and he'd be willing to give me the computer for just $500. So that was a GTX 650 Ti, Core i5 3570K, and 8 gigs of RAM, and still seemed like a really good deal for a pre-built video editing computer. No, well, not a pre-built, I should say. It was built by somebody else, so for me it was pre-built. But I was like, yes, I'll still take it, and so I did. And I began searching for Adobe stuff because I couldn't afford the monthly subscription to Adobe, especially since I wasn't making any money off of YouTube at all. And, you know, even now as we speak, I'm trying to get Patreon set up so that I can support that, because I can't afford it with the money I make from my regular job right now and my other expenses. But I knew I was not going to get Adobe with their subscription service, so why not get the version just before that and use that? And, well, basically, we couldn't find anywhere that seemed like they actually had it. Because, I mean, eBay, even if you found it new in box, never opened, well, Adobe doesn't trust eBay, so it's not legal. KSL? That's also out. A few people had it listed on KSL, but they were saying, oh yeah, and then you go in and you do this little thingy-o, and then it doesn't phone home anymore, and you're good to go. And I want to actually be legitimate. I don't want to bootleg piracy. None of that. None of that for my Adobe editing suite. And while I didn't think there might be some other online retailers, like maybe Amazon or maybe a local store might have a copy before they switched to their subscription service, and I could have still used it, you know, I just didn't think about that, and so I'm like, well, there's no way to get it. That's it. I am never using Adobe. I hate this subscription model. It's a horrible idea. Yeah, okay, I mean, maybe, you know, like, they have to make money somehow, and maybe waiting in between versions isn't enough. And so then, you know, that, and people want support. Well, you have to pay those support people, so either it's going to be a paid subscription, or you have to pay for support, and people don't want to pay for each support session. So I could kind of see why, but I wasn't having it. It was just sounded like a horrible move to me. And so I was looking around. I tried a few other devices, and I landed on a Dazzle capture device for trying to run that business, which didn't really take off. I only had 2 customers. I still do have my Dazzle. It's a decent device for the price. And so that didn't take off, but that got me into using Pinnacle Studio. Oh boy. My favorite thing about Pinnacle Studio is that you buy it once and it's yours, and then if you want to upgrade to the newest version, if it has features you like or need, then you pay a discounted upgrade price, and you only pay it for each version that you want to upgrade to. And I have Pinnacle Studio 20. That's what I've stopped at. And they're at like 24, maybe 25 now. So I could just buy 25 and get all of the versions from the previous Pinnacle Studios. Get all of the features, all of that stuff for just one about $70, $80 upgrade price to the latest version. I love that. And I wish Adobe was doing that too, but they're a big industry standard. I get there's reasons why. And one of the things that kind of helped me change my mind and opinion about this is something that someone said on Utah Filmmakers and Actors Facebook group. I forget who it was, but I think I started a discussion asking people what editing software they use and why, what they like about it. And one person was like, never use Adobe, it's expensive, why should we have to pay per month? So then someone replied to this, and he said something I absolutely love. He said, like, if you have a truck for your business, you drive it around for your business, you have to buy gas every single month, but it makes you money for your business. And, that's actually really true. So if you are actually making money off of Adobe and you're using it for a business type thing, well, it's kind of covers itself almost. Well, it's not as nice as a one-time expense kind of a thing. It's, really great in that regard. And so that really helped me change my mind. The other thing, Adobe for me was about all of these big features that I didn't 100% need, that I could get around. Like they have that, the smart mask thing where you like draw lines in somebody and it magically figures out where they are, and you go fix a few mistakes and you've got them magically masked out of your video without having to trace lines all the way up and down their whole entire thing. Little things like that, or like when they announced at CES that feature from Photoshop going into After Effects where you could magically remove objects. So they accidentally had the boom operator in their shot and they magically covered him over with more grass. Big features like that you don't 100% need, that you can find ways around, that you can do the harder, more difficult way. Yeah, they had that. That's what I thought they were for. And I think Pinnacle Studio just got that smart mask feature in their latest version, but I don't think it will work until the next version will work properly. That's kind of the history of Pinnacle for me. So with those being the big features, I never really thought like I needed anything. There was nothing entirely compelling for me. But since Adobe is like the industry standard, and if I ever wanted to get a job using Adobe, I would have to learn it. So that's one reason why I was kind of leaning towards getting Adobe and wanting to switch. Although I am trying to actually make this channel be my main job before I try and get a job somewhere else as an editor. And so that was kind of a push towards it. And I watched a tutorial on editing for Adobe, and there were a lot of little things that I just really, really want. Like, first of all, it was very similar to Pinnacle Studio. I just have to learn different shortcut macros or key combinations, whatever you call them, and a different placement of buttons, and I should be able to hit it off really easily and learn everything else pretty quickly. But not only is it very similar to Pinnacle Studio, it also has just a lot of these little features that I was just like, oh, I want that. There's only one thing that I remember specifically, and that is the edit layer, I think they're called. So like anything you apply to this layer, any effects you apply, anything will apply to the layers down beneath. I don't know how deep this goes, what exactly it does, but I know for coloring and stuff it would work, and absolutely amazing. So the other reason that I want to switch to Adobe is Pinnacle Studio has a lot of bugs. Maybe they've fixed them in the latest version. Some bugs I'm kind of doubtful they have based on history. And it's just getting to the point where it's kind of annoying and frustrating and things are running slow. And you know, as I've started using Pinnacle Studio again after being gone for a while, I'm like, ugh, this is. I need something. I need to dig myself out of this. I need something else. I can't edit like this. And so it works basically, but I'm trying to avoid doing anything edited until I get something better, easier, that'll make the edit work, that I know I won't run into any bugs and stuff with. And also, I want less splitting between ecosystems, because, well, I've probably lost most of my stuff from way back when. If my computer hadn't have gone bad, I would have had Movie Maker files if I ever needed to go back and do something with those videos. And then Pinnacle Studio files, and then Adobe files. I want to consolidate and do all my stuff in Adobe. So let's take a look at me on the computer, and I'll show you one of the errors that I've been running into. And then I should also have a clip of me showing how I would apply an coloring effect to something, and then explaining how it will be a lot easier with the edit layers in Adobe. Here's some of the things that have been going on with Pinnacle Studio for me. First of all, it was like really chugging and being slow, and then I realized that, more so than usual, but then I realized that I had shot this footage from my OnePlus 9 Pro in 4K. I would have done 1080p had I remembered to change the setting. I'm mostly going to be edit. I'll probably mostly, depending on how Adobe goes, it could be different. But with Pinnacle Studio, I'd probably just edit in 1080 because that seems to work best for Pinnacle Studio 20. And then I would, but then I'll record like a 4K quality if I'm just uploading it straight without any editing. And so this isn't the exact bug that I wanted to show, but this is almost the same. There's a thing where, so usually it's say, unable to save movie, error, whatever, I forget it is, and then it means you've applied a speed effect or something at a certain point, and this is different. This has been sitting here since, probably 8 in the morning, a little later than 8, that's because I was gone before then, but sometime around that time is when it's been stuck here at this, so 18, 25, 25. Let's go look for that. You can see NG Studio is not using much of any CPU. System Idle is using the most. Whoops. So name. Whoops. There we go. That's correct. So, yeah, it's just not. So we need to remember our time of 18, 25, 25. Okay, so yes, I would love to stop it because it's not doing anything. It's done this 3 times now. You want to know the dumb thing? This is what I did to fix it earlier. So let's go find that spot. 11. And just overall running slow. And like, I have to wait a lot for stuff to render on the timeline before I can preview my stuff. I can't just zip through, see if it looks okay. I mean, I'm pretty sure I have it set for, maybe I don't have it set for fastest playback. That might help. But 18, 10, 13, 14, 15, 25, 'too far. Yowza, too far. 31. That's 28. Okay, so 23, 24. Come on. 27. 26. 26 still. Come on. Yeah, 25. 18, 25, 25. So we're going to split here. And then I don't know if I need to split on the other side. We'll go forward one frame and we'll split there. And then we'll start our export. Okay. I am exporting this as 1080p to see if that gets rid of some of the hiccups and goes faster. Because I think this will be fine as 1080p. I'm totally fine like editing 4K in the future. I mean, I don't know. Actually, maybe I'll start running out of space. But, oh, it crashed. Wow. So basically, I'm just going to have to close the program and restart it. It will automatically load up and say, hey, do you want to continue where you were editing? Because, you know, the program crashed. So I should be able to do that. But ideally, though, it will get, and it will go past that part. Why? Why does that work? I honestly have absolutely no idea why that'll work. But I'll come back with the results of that. If not, I'll have to probably delete the frame, but we'll just do a 1080p. I might try and export as 4K. As you can see, this is the number of times I've already tried to save it and only saved partway through. Well, there we go. Yeah. Well, there it is. Yeah, finally worked. I had to do that one more time for a total of 3. But fortunately, I realized I can just double-click in this box and manually type in where I need to go on the timeline. So that helped a bit, but I shouldn't have to be doing that. And just the fact that it's slow and I'm ready to move on. Okay? I mean, maybe possibly the new version of Pinnacle Studio has made a lot of things better and fixed things. I'm sure it has. But I'm ready to move on and have power and a lot of the neat features that you get by using Adobe. So, as you can see, I put me from the Pizza Look Good Isaac video on top of this. Not a lot of work done on the green screen. This is just going to be quick and dirty. So there's 2 ways that I could make things. Let's change the color if I wanted to as the example. So one way is just to go like this. Now that I have a 1920 by 1080 green coloring, filling the whole thing, I can go like this, and then let's set this to 50. Sweet. So, I mean, that looks, it works. But then, if I, whoops, wrong. If I turn this layer off, right? The other way I could do it, which would look better, has better advantages for actually tweaking colors and stuff like that. So we go here, we'll use the film color. And then we're just going to set saturation to 0. Whoops. Set the gamma to 0. We'll set tint to green and zip that up, and then I can do the same in this clip here, and then what is it, if I add-ons, video essentials, whoops, wrong add-on section, new blue effects, film color. Wait, not camera. Ugh. Color. 0, 0. Green. Apply. So I mean, like the actual controls. This section here is probably going to have some similar stuff in Adobe. But the main point is that I had to do that between the 2 different clips. And if we go back, You can see how it looks different this way as opposed to this way. And so there's advantages to having the different look. It's better for the editing process, and it's going to be so much nicer. Because with Adobe, I would just have a layer up here, and I would be using my film color or whatever it's called, and just change the colors amongst all my clips, and so much more. Oh, that's one thing I am so excited for. Anyways, back to me. Alright, we're back. So that's just one of the things that has me really excited. There were a lot of other little things that I can't remember. It's just going to be so cool to use, and it's going to be so helpful, and I'm really, really excited. So, seriously, if you guys want to see better stuff, more things than just what I've been doing, I want to make more short films and things, I want to learn this program, I want to use it, go support me on Patreon. It's going to be about $50 a month for the subscription to all the suite of programs. And you know, I had thought about just getting After Effects and Premiere, but that's going to be like $40 a month for each of them, because they're $20 individually. Or I could just get the whole entire suite of all their programs for $50. This makes me a little sad because I have used like GIMP and Audacity. Those are my photo editing and audio editing programs respectively. And well, I'm sure that Adobe Photoshop and their Audition or whatever their audio program is are better. Like, I've really liked GIMP and Audacity. I've never had really any issues with them, and so I kind of felt sad moving on from those because I don't absolutely need to, but I'm just going to use the whole suite. Because they have whatever that program is where the programs are connected together. So I know between After Effects and Premiere they're connected, so I can just open up a clip in After Effects and it'll be all good in Premiere with the same clip, whereas otherwise I'd have to, like, with Pinnacle Studio, if I needed to use a separate editor for effects, I'd have to export and then import into the other program, and then it's just the whole mess. So I'm really looking forward to using this ecosystem. Those are the reasons why I'm switching, and I need your guys' help to be able to do that. Go help me on my Patreon, which will be launched sometime soon around the point of this video. Hopefully the same time it's uploaded. Yeah, so that's why I'm switching. If you guys are excited for anything I've talked about in this video, seeing more edited stuff, leave a like, get subscribed, go check out the other things that I've done. It's going to be so much fun. I'll see you guys in whatever's next.